All right, Roundtable Podcast on location today at CrossFit Uprising. I'm your boy Corey G, Small Arms Danny, at Trey Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak. Homie Jason Tomlinson back on the show. Listen, the show that we had with Jason was episode 23, which was the end of last year. If you have not listened to it, first off, buckle up. Second off, it's like a damn Netflix special, which I hope becomes a movie someday.
Yeah.
But he does an amazing job at telling the story of how he got here. So you go back to that. But now that we're here, you know, opening a new business, stories out there, you're getting a chance to change people's lives again with the CrossFit gym. So, you know, catch us up on what's been going on. And, man, just welcome back, bro.
Thanks.
It's been about a little less than a year, so.
Fucking crazy. Like, I mean, like we said before we started, was like, it's fucking fast.
Yeah.
Like, it happened really quick. Like, so we had the episode with you guys, and then
Well, talk about that whole situation first, right? Kyle, is this mic good? Well, you can't hear. Never mind. Like, go this way. I'm gonna do what Kyle normally does. Go a little closer to
all right.
your.
So we got done with like that episode, and then it was like it hit, and everyone started like reaching out.
Yeah.
Like Instagram started to happen. You guys posted, I posted, and everyone was like, "Look, thank you. Like, you make me want to be better."
That's cool.
Right? And it's like all this.
Were you worried about what people were going to say once they knew the full story, Jay? I mean, that anybody would probably initially think that way.
So it's really weird. Like, when you tell your story, you usually don't tell it like that.
Like all the way.
Right? Like
You were airing it out.
right?
Yeah.
You were like, you want to tell it on the podcast? And I was like, what? What did you say? Like, I thought just me and you were going to sit down, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, that's cool. Then, but you put it out like that. And
Then you got nothing to hide, bro. Ever.
there's nothing there, right?
Yeah.
No matter who you run into that's listening to it, they'll be like,
Yeah.
I already know.
I think there's something freeing about that, though.
A little bit. Like,
Yeah.
that now it's like, I mean, the story was always public knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
you could go find what I did,
Yeah.
but you couldn't find the details.
Yeah.
The stories and the things we sit back and talk about.
And
You
your
couldn't-
perspective.
the way I see it,
Yeah.
right? So people start reaching out. People were this and that. And then I remember walking out that day, and I'll never forget. I just remember looking over at Cole, and Cole being like,
Yeah. His mouth was dropped open the whole time.
Yeah.
what? And he was like, I feel like I'm watching a documentary.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Real talk.
okay, cool. Then you guys were all like, write a book.
Yeah.
Write a book. Do it. So me and Carrie talked, and I was like, I think I'll try it. I think I'll try to write a book.
Yeah.
So we met a friend of ours, and she'd sit down, and we'd sit down and have weekly talks and line it all out, and I started to write, and I'd sit at the computer, and I'd start to write, and I'd start to write, and fucking look at it one day, and I'd reread it and reread it and reread it, and I'd be like, fuck, I'm a boring writer. I suck.
That's why you got to record it, bro.
So
Do the Corey G
like,
move.
right? So I could tell a story, but
Yeah.
to put it on paper and pen, it's like, no,
Yeah, it's hard.
It's dumb.
I'm the same way. It's tough.
Yep. So
One thing I want to touch on before that you didn't anticipate, or maybe did anticipate, I don't know, but your daughter listening to the podcast.
yeah. So
Talk about that real quick.
So I got a text one day.
Try not to cry.
Yeah. Thanks.
Were you worried about that going in?
So we had always told her, she had been asked for a long time.
Yeah.
She had always asked, I want to hear your story. 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 I'm like, look, when you're older.
Yeah.
When
Which
you're
is the
older,
move.
you'll understand it. And we talked on the podcast, and you were like, this is probably the better way for her to hear it.
'Cause
without
you're
you telling her.
Because, dude, you're not going to tell it the same way.
Exactly.
It's impossible. You're going to
So-
try to sugarcoat shit.
Exactly. Right? You don't need her to hear. Like, it's your
Yeah.
daughter. You don't want your daughter to hear all that.
Yeah.
All of that. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Carrie had got a hold. I heard they started to listen to it together. And I got a text one day that was like, I listened to your podcast, and I'm so proud of you.
That's so cool.
And I was like, fuck, talk about tugging at heartstrings, dude. Like, tied my gut knots and,
Yeah.
like, makes your chest tight. And it was like, she knows.
Yeah.
Right? And she didn't care.
That's well, because she only knows the other guy.
Exactly.
That's
so yeah, it was a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
It was a great way. It was a great way just to let her hear it and hear it. And there's still, like I said, there's still a lot of, details in it, obviously.
Sure.
that, I'll never share with her.
Yeah.
So, but it was good to have her. It felt good to have her reach out and be like, look.
Yeah. That's cool.
It didn't change. You're still my dad.
Yeah, of course.
That's like the
of course.
cool thing with kids. I mean, you were
Yeah.
just telling us that like Andon's saying that you can't dunk.
Yeah, he's
And,
talking
like,
shit on me.
He's
I'm like,
this
bro.
9-year-old's talking shit.
Yeah, he's always talking shit. Like when I had my gold chain, he's like, "Well, that cost $1." Like that's just he's just forever. He's talking shit to Trey when we were at Topgolf. He's a shit talker,
That's
bro.
awesome.
Yeah, they just don't care.
No, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
So-
they only know how you've interacted with them to that point. I mean,
So it was really good to have that out.
Yeah.
Like that way. You were right. It was the best way it could have been done.
yeah,
So-
I felt like honored to be able to have a platform where you could do that, like in where like everyone, obviously on our crew is super supportive to like say, hey, man, let's get it out so you can keep it moving. And then now, fast forward, talk about what we're sitting inside of, bro.
So I remember I was sitting on FaceTime one day with Carrie, and this is how it started. I was sitting on FaceTime, and I must have been just feeling sorry for myself. Just like my writing sucks, and I'm not going anywhere.
I've been feeling sorry for myself about my writing stuff for a long time, bro.
So she
feeling
was
small.
like,
Yeah.
and not
Jeez.
like in not so many words, she was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't feel like I'm not doing anything. I'm just floating.
Yeah.
Like nothing's happening, and I suck at writing." And she was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "This is what I want to do. You know what I want to do. I want to have a gym. Like I want to run CrossFit. I want to help
It's your passion.
do this shit." And she was like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Just keep it separate from our personal life, our personal finances." She goes, "And just go do it."
No, that's good advice.
Just
I
go
did
do
the same thing.
And I was like, well, thank you. Okay. So I remember walking in, talking to Jake and talking to you. Like, I'm going to do this.
Homie Jake Emery, which you guys have
Yeah.
heard on the podcast before. Go
So
ahead.
I'm going to do this. And, like, I just need you to be a mentor with me. Like, we've known each other a long time. I've known you as a friend and as a businessman. So I'm like, help me just be with the business.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, okay, we'll do. And I walked out. That was it. That was our conversation.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the living room the next morning and you texted me. Like, I want to back you. What do you need? And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it become not just, I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
It become like somebody's believing in me, and now there's a lot higher expectations of myself to make sure to not, honestly, in the end, it become not let you down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, don't let you down, don't let me down, don't let my family, like all of that came into play now. Now it's not just about me making a business, portfolio and going to the bank trying to get a loan.
Yeah.
Now
Which,
it
by the way,
become-
really doesn't work that way. It sucks. I tried.
So yeah, it become like that. And then I come talk to you, and you were like, go talk to Jake. And I talked to Jake, and it was like things snowballed really fast, like from there. We went on the hunt. Like, me and Carrie sit down and talked, and we went on the hunt for a place. Like, man, I exhausted everybody I could find to try to find a location. It had to be on this end of town where we're at right now, away from the other two. Make sure that we're not near two other CrossFit gyms that are in town.
Sure.
That way we had our own place and wasn't living in the shadow of someone else.
Yeah,
right?
makes sense.
So we went. I mean, we drove everywhere, talked to everyone. You would hook me up with somebody. And then ultimately I got in contact with a guy that we had actually looked at this location like in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Here for another gym I was working for.
Oh, wow.
And I remembered it one day, and I talked to Carrie about it, and I'm like, I wonder about that. And she had done some digging for it, and she's like, well, this is the guy that sold it, like, but we can't find who they sold it to. And I'm like, well, that's the guy, realtor, that I'm dealing with.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, that's weird. So I just asked him on the phone one day. I was like, hey, I said, the building on Bryce Street, I'm like, you sold that. Is there an opening in it? He goes, give me 10 minutes. I'll call you back. He called me back, and he goes, can you meet me there on Monday? And him, the owner? He said, he's got one coming open. I was like, fuck. It's like, let's go. It was unreal. Like, it became perfect.
All within a few weeks. Started really
yeah.
fucking pushing.
Yep. So I remember I pulled up, and the realtor wasn't here yet. He was running late. And the owner was sitting in the parking lot, and he opened the door, and I walked in, and I'm like, don't fucking smile. Don't smile. Don't smile. Don't smile. I'm like, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It was it. It had a bathroom. It was a big wide open square space.
Perfect starting
It was
point.
just perfect for starting.
And how old are you, Jason?
46.
46, first business. I think a lot of people like that. Well, I want to make a big deal out of that because you know, a lot of people think, oh, because they're 25, they don't have a business, or they hear the things some of these younger dudes are doing, and they think they're so far behind. But dude, you went through all that craziness, but you're so happy, and you can create so much success, and you didn't get to start till later in life. But some people would just be like, well, it's past me. But that's not so. But you've never. You were like, I ain't got there yet.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Look, you talk about it at 25, so I don't have a business yet. I remember at 25 years old, I was standing in the middle of a fucking prison hallway.
Yeah.
With gates closing, going, fuck. Like, this is fucked up. I'm tired. I'm tired of fucking being here. I'm ready to go. So, like, it's never past you. Ever.
That's my point.
Ever.
It's never past you.
I mean, I have it at 46.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just starting. We're just fucking going.
And you're just so fucking excited.
Dude.
Because of the passion. You're finally meeting the passion and the opportunity together.
Both of them. Like, this is what I want to do, right? This is what I wanted. I wanted a CrossFit gym. And, like I told you, we talked yesterday. I was like, the moments that happened the other night with, you know, people were doing qualifiers and classes coming in and they're rooting for people and they're cheering and then classes happening. And, like, all those moments are all encompassed into what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's exactly.
It's happening.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
It's going on. Like, there's no. You two told me one day we got ready to leave to go sign paperwork, and you and Dustin both said there ain't no feeling like walking in the office and dropping the keys on your desk.
Yeah. When you own part of the business, bro, or the business, and it's part of what you're building, it changes everything.
It does.
It's just, especially from a gym meathead standpoint.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about you see this place and stuff like that. Now let's talk about like building the brand. So why CrossFit Uprising? Talk about like the color scheme and stuff like that.
So
shout out to Cole. He's been helping with some of the gear
yes,
too.
he has. Thank you for that. So, so I had, when I sit down to do this, I talked to Corey and Jake, and like I talked to some people that do marketing, and I was like, look, I don't know jack about marketing, and you know, we're gonna trade some services, and I'm gonna let you handle it. And she was like, okay. I said, look, on top of that, I said, you're going to have to, you're going to be the brand maker. Like, that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Like, design something that's cool, right? And Carrie would sit down, and we'd come up with some ideas, and I'd send them over to her, and she'd send some back, and we went back and forth about what we're looking for. And, like, finally settled on a Phoenix. Like, the hardest part of this in the beginning was finding a name.
Well, yeah, there's 15,000 CrossFit gyms.
Yeah. So, like, finding a name was really hard. So, like, my first thought, like, in the beginning, I wanted CrossFit Convicted. It just made fucking
I fuck with
sense.
that, but it was either taken or they wouldn't approve it.
They wouldn't approve it because it was too close to another CrossFit gym is what they told me, which wasn't in their rules, but that's here and there, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got to abide by that. Look, my wife sat down, and she fucking dug and dug and dug for a name that, like, would come that would match what we're doing. Like, what
and what you've been through.
Encompasses us, right?
Resonate.
My past and the present and where we're going. And
that's the way you should think
everything.
about the branding, by the way. This is great fucking 101.
Yeah. So, like, it just didn't need to be a name.
Yeah.
It needed to fit everything from then until now and where we're going. And we were sitting on the couch, and she said something about, you know, Uprising, and I looked it up, and it had taken. But they had been closed for almost 3 years. It was already, they were closed, and I reached out to CrossFit, and I was like, look, how long does the name have to be off the books, closed, for me to be able to take it? And they got back to me, and they're like, well, we'd like to see it at least closed for 6 months before somebody can take it. And I was like, well, there's this name, and I would like to have it. Is it possible? And we had sent a couple other names in and divvied with them and worked
All
with
the
them.
names you came up with were good.
Yeah.
This just happened to be the one
This
that
happened
ended
to
up.
be the one that just, like, we settled on that was it fit. So we'd sent it in, and the email come through that said you got approved. It was perfect. Like, and I always wanted, a long time ago, Carrie had told me, she had sent me this saying about a phoenix, like the phoenix needs to burn to emerge. And I've always thought about that. Like, at some point in my life, I fucking burnt myself down. I did. Like, I landed at the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
Sitting in a fucking courtroom getting sentenced.
Yeah.
So, like, I burnt myself down. You know what? And
What was the number they said that day? Was it 8? Well, how many? What
no,
was it?
it was 35. It was 25 and then 10 for the gun and then 10 suspended.
What the fuck kind of feeling do you have? Like, I'm sure you remember that.
Oh,
Just-
I remember.
Well, yeah, I would
So,
think
no,
you
what-
probably never forget that one.
Well, can you even like? Put that into
It's
words
probably
at
hard
all-
to put
at
it
It's
all?
a hard mix because I was still fucking young and dumb, and I don't give a fuck at that point. But at the same time, you have this sinking feeling inside of you, like, fuck, I'm fucked. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know any of the rules out there. Like, do I have to do all of it? Do I have to do half of it? Do I have so much of it before
Yeah.
I go up for parole or release?
Yeah,
or
you really had no clue what was about
nothing.
to
I had
happen.
no idea. But then the other half of it is I'm just fucking hard. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Thug life.
Right? That's what it was about.
You do got it tatted on you, or did?
I did. So like and it's and I look back on it now, and now it makes my gut sink.
Oh,
It
yeah.
tightens my chest up, and it's like,
Well, you're a different guy now, bro. You're the
So
same guy, but a different
it
guy.
makes me feel
Yeah.
different now.
Yeah.
So
So the emergence from that low moment to walking in, seeing the brand, the name, getting approved and all this, it was like from start to finish, it was like a 4-month process. How long was it, Jason? From you saying, because you came into, I remember he rolls into the gym, and he's got his notebook and he's got a bunch of stuff written out or whatever. And I remember I said something to you about like, I fucking forget about basically because it was now you got to take the chance.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because that's really what the
Okay.
big thing was.
So there's a couple things that were said in this, and one of them was my wife telling me, then just go do it. Like
Yeah.
she gave me the approval
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah, she's good with it.
right, it's cool. The other one was sitting with you in that gym that day. I'll fucking never forget. I felt like you fucking punched me in my teeth. It was fucking perfect. Like, that's what you needed. You told me, you're like, in all of your life, all of the shit that you've done and you fucking lived and made it through it.
Yeah.
If you don't take this chance, then fuck you. And I was like, okay.
It's kind of like perspective, right?
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you
it's just-
survived all of that
Exactly.
to not take this. Basically, in the
This
grand
is no
scheme of
risk
things,
compared to what you already
in the
went
grand
through.
scheme of things,
Yeah.
you took this fucking risk and you won't take this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because I know how scared I'd be to take the risk you already took.
like,
know what
and
I
that's
mean?
basically what the conversation come down to.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, look, I take you took the risk you took in business. You'd never take the ones
No.
or what you would feel like to do what I did back
After
then.
what I heard those stories, hell no. That's what I'm thinking. This dude already did the ultimate risk. This ain't risky.
And it literally felt like you punched me in my fucking chest and took the air out of me. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I walked out of there knowing that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's clear as day.
It
up
was.
there.
It totally wiped
Yeah.
the screen clean and was like, fuck is wrong with you?
I have that effect sometimes. Trayvon.
So like once you got all of this like together and stuff like that, I'm like, what was like the like feeling once you got like people in here for the first day and like you actually had a class that you put together and everything?
It
like
was
that?
cool. Like I ran, things had fell together a lot faster than I thought here. Like things started to, like we were waiting on a few things from the owner of the building to do his work to be able to put it down. So we were waiting at one point. And I'd got up to a point where I had to stop for him to do his. And then once that happened, like me and the two coaches and my wife and some friends, like we started to push it down. Like it started to go. The rig went up and like we were ready. And I'd already had some things in the works I had to do, and I wasn't ready to open when it needed to because I was leaving and I didn't want to open and then just leave. So like we had pushed it off to the 25th of July to when I come back. So, but we had run a free class over July 4th. We had the second class that was run that day had 36 people in it, like in one
It's a
class.
shit ton of people.
Yeah, it is.
It was a lot. And
Danny coached CrossFit for a long time.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
lot of fucking people.
so
lot of people
the
to
first
manage.
one had 18 or so in it.
still
So,
a
but
lot,
that was
yeah.
my first class back coaching after 3 years,
Yeah.
right? So
Let's go.
it was just like, all right. Then I got done, and everybody was like, a few people were like, so your first one was a little shaky. You looked like you were out of sorts. Your second one, you'd fucking
Right back
swear
at
that
it.
you'd swear you'd never jumped out of it. You look perfect. So it was neat. Like it was neat to see it from a different side. Like I'm usually just the coach and the programmer, right? Now I'm the owner.
Yeah.
So like when you stand up front of everybody, it's not just like this
Yeah,
isn't
it's your fucking spot.
mine, right? Something goes wrong, it's on me. If nobody can tell me in the end, what the fuck to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
on
good.
me.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think that's where the security's at.
It is. Like, I don't have the answer to nobody. I don't. Like, I make the decisions I make because I feel that that's what's best for them, for the members, because that's what I'm shooting for. I want to know what's best for them and what works best for them, and I want to find their fucking max potential. That's what I want. What are they fully capable of? Mm-hmm. I'm going to find it. Mm-hmm. I will. So when it opened and it was like, oh, here comes the first day, we'd already been rolling some. Like I'd run some classes to let the coaches get up to speed because like I had a coach that needed to be up to speed on the way I program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, me and Corey's been over this numerous times. I am aggressive. I'm super aggressive with programming.
Same.
But I also know how to coach it, right?
Yeah.
And I need them to be up to speed on coaching that too. So like I'd run some just, hey, I'm going to invite a few people in, let you guys coach, and I'll sit back. And then you can manage the class and see how the hour runs. This is the way the programming is going to be.
It's super important.
Big time.
I've seen so many examples of something going wrong, or like even like a coach being singled out, or like you're over here just like, nails on a chalkboard because you want to like jump in and
right. So
do
like,
you ever struggle with that part?
Oh yeah, a lot. So number one, I'm a doer. Like I would hey, I need you to do this, and you'll start it, and I'll just push you out of the way, and I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
sitting back and watching a coach that doesn't coach in my style is hard for me.
Sure.
Right. But I understand now more having my place is like I need them to have their style. Mm-hmm. So like it's hard in the beginning to like I need you to coach in my style. No, you don't.
Their style around your programming.
Exactly. That's what it becomes now, right? So now I'm learning to deal with that is sit back and relax. Mm-hmm. They'll develop their own style.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine. Manage your time, and let's be on the same page in the way that we teach it, though.
Yeah.
Everyone's got different cues. I'm going to tell you something that may not work for Corey. So, like, the cues and what works for you is going to be different, but the way we teach it is going to be the same. Yeah. I need that across the board. So
at the core
of it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
we're going to go to a commercial break. I'm just going to put a little pressure on Danny because Cole's question was great. Trey's question was great. Danny, after the break, is going to have his turn to get his question.
Small arm says right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's kind of small arm says. We'll see.
SAS.
All right, let's go to commercial.
The Roundtable podcast is brought to you by Maxim from Muscle. With us is the Director of Sports Performance, Mr. Tyler Treadway.
Hey guys, Mr. Tyler Treadway here today. You know, this NSF thing that's on this bottle, this says that everything that's in this label is exactly what's in this label. And so that means that every athlete or anybody around here that's trying to make sure they don't test positive for steroids, they can take our products. And I got beat by Corey today at basketball, and that sucks. Back to you, Cole.
That was fucking amazing.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Mr. Treadway. Back to the show. And we're back. Thank you, Mr. Treadway. That was amazing.
Yes, you got it. All right, so back to Corey. Hey guys, what's up? We're back here at the round table. All right, Danny, time for your question to Jason.
Time for my question. Okay. Well, I'm just thinking about, obviously you were at multiple gyms prior to opening your own gym, right?
Yes.
So like, what were some of the things that you want, like it could be one thing, three things, whatever it is, but what are 1 to 3 things that were like really glaring to you that you wanted to change or be different in your gym?
That was a great question, Danny.
That is a great question.
I was sitting on that one
because
like when I moved to Chicago, for example, it was a shot in the dark because my expectation was really high because I was coming from CrossFit Grandview, where like Holmberg,
yes,
Brandon, they were coaching. So I had a really high expectation. And so it took me like 6 tries, and I felt like I saw the entire spectrum from like someone who's
You're like an OG a little bit, Danny. You've been coaching for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
But like pretty much, I went from like a coach that like clearly maybe had coached 3 months maybe, and didn't really know what to do, how to scale, keep someone safe, whatever, or somebody that struggled in a big setting, didn't really know what to do, or like maybe it was the equipment. I don't know. There's a billion things.
Yes.
So.
I probably have 2 that were really, really glaring to me. One of them is being able to include everybody. Everybody from, your 70-year-old grandma to your 40-year-old male or female that somebody's been sitting around for, since high school or college and haven't done anything, took a desk job, to your elite athlete, right? To me, you can put all of them people in one class setting and get the best out of all of them and use each of them to do that. You, number one, have to care as the coach.
1,000%.
You have to care, period. That's it. Yeah. Care about them and what they need and what they want. Because there are two different things here. The elite athlete has a need. They don't have a want. You're an elite. It's what you need.
Yeah.
The 80-year-old grandma has a want. I want to live longer. I want to be healthier. I want to move for 10, 15 more years.
Some gems right here,
you need to be able to do both of those. And to do that, you need to care about both of them.
Yeah.
So, I've felt over the years, I've seen a lot of pushing out of one of those or the other and catering to a certain, I don't want to call it demographic, but
no, it happens.
But I think a lot of people hearing you say that would be interesting because they think you're only for the crazy.
Look.
But you just saying that is showing that it's not.
It is. A lot of people say it. A lot of people say Jason's all about the competition. For me.
Yeah.
You're right. For me, I am. I'm a competitor. I'm not going to lie about that. I am. But, that doesn't mean that that's the way everybody that walks through my doors needs to be.
Yeah.
It isn't. Do you want to be? Okay, then that's a discussion we have to have. Do you just want to come in here, hey, I had a shoulder surgery 3 years ago, and, I sat on the couch and didn't do anything, and now I'm out of shape. Okay. Then let's get you back in shape.
We got something for you.
Right? I do. So, that was one of the biggest things that I needed everyone to feel like they were welcome here, not just the competitor side, because that's what I do.
Well, think about how many times you've dropped into a place or whatever, and you feel like the coach is just kind of punching the in and out clock, right?
So I have a prime example of that. Yeah. We were on our way on vacation 3 or 4 years ago. We were on our way down south, and we stopped at a box to work out at noontime. We walked in, and we didn't even know who the coach was until they called us to the board.
Oh, wait, yeah, we talked about this.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was standing there, and all of a sudden he tells us what to do. Well, it's a good thing me and my wife have CrossFitted because we knew what to do. So we go work out. They start to work out. There's no demo. There's no nothing.
Really?
You don't get shit. Before the weights and everything were put away, I'll never forget when Carrie looked at me and she goes, well, he couldn't wait to get out of here. You turned, and he had grabbed his workout shoes and was walking to the other side of the gym already to work out before class was ever over.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
So unfortunate.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
Because, for one, the people there probably don't know any different. That's what they're used to. And if you would introduce them people to a fucking coach that cared, that walked around and talked to them in the beginning when they're warming up and find out where they're at and what their goals are and what their needs are and what scales they may need, them people's minds would be fucking blown. Guaranteed.
That's the thing, to circle back to the caring thing, because so many coaches don't do that, because it's maybe they actually have a specific goal, but they just never have told you before.
So that's
what do you want?
That's a good lead into my number 2.
Yeah.
Perfect. My number 2 is I want to know what every one of my members' goals are.
Yeah.
Eventually, I want to know, and I want to check in with them every 6 to 8 months and know, are we meeting that?
Well, there's something there, whether they say no at the beginning or not.
Look, you'll find them, right? Yeah. You're going to find them people that go, I just want to work out.
Yeah, super common to say that. Yeah.
I just want to come in and sweat and get a good workout. No, you don't. There's something there.
No, I'm trying to get sexy out here.
Trying to look good naked.
Boy.
Yeah. And we'll find it, though. I want to dig it out of you eventually. What is that goal?
Be like, I want Corey's goal, Jason. I'm trying to look sexy out here.
Trying to be a
You know what? It could be something. It could be something as that simple as that.
Yeah.
You get
it's confidence.
It is.
Yeah.
You get a female that walks in here and says, I want to look better naked. Okay. Well,
cool.
Then
We do
I need you to eat a certain way and come and do the training.
Yeah.
Follow the program.
Lots of squats.
Lots of squats.
That's definitely what Danny's goal is.
Yeah.
Look good naked. Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to look
Yeah, I
good
mean,
naked,
everyone
right?
does.
Yeah, am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong. All right, back to you, Cole.
I don't know where to go from that.
No, to look good naked.
Yeah. I guess so. Let's in what ways are you trying to create the environment that you want and envision?
So I read something once. When I started this, I started to read things. And Carrie had sent me this thing from this thing I'd read. And it was 9 things that gym owners should do. Things you should fall into.
People love lists.
And majority of them
Yeah,
were true. And one of them was, I never understood this. This part I never understood because I was just the programmer and the coach, right? Because I was always part of the community.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm the owner. And when I didn't read it, maybe she had heard it and Carrie explained it to me, was you don't build the community as the owner. You build the culture. From the culture, the community will take care of itself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was like, what? What was that?
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense to me. I had to think about it longer, and then the doors open, and now people are coming, and I'm starting to understand that. I don't do the community. They handle the community.
Yeah.
They're the community. I handle the culture.
The expectation.
That's what it is. I have super high expectations of people coming through that door. I'm going to ask a lot of you. A lot.
How are you setting the stage, for when they come in? Whether it's 10, 15 minutes before the class. What are you doing? Are you throwing some music on? Are you doing some curls as they walk in? What?
Right? They got to see that I still do curls, buddy.
Smoke machine.
Right?
What's going on?
He's talking to his arm.
Yeah. That's what happens if you have Danny as one of your celebrity coaches one time.
I asked him
Where'd that mirror come from?
Danny brings in the
Danny brought
Walmart
it
mirror. It's propped up on the boxes.
It's sliding. It's on wheels.
He can wheel it around when he's coaching and be like, I'm going to stand right in front of it and coach.
Got that light.
Which is why we made fun of him in the first place, because I met him on the Preacher Curl. I mean, that's
Oh,
basically
shit.
when he came to my gym, he just lived on Preacher
Your
Curls.
Preacher Curl.
Yeah,
was there.
yeah. and then he really didn't do bodybuilding. He was a CrossFitter, but his arms were always huge. So that's where the small arms
Shout
thing
out
came
28
from.
Methods.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out 28 Method. No free shout outs. We've all had that pump.
That's
all right.
awesome.
Yeah, sorry.
Really sidetracked.
Yeah, sorry.
So
setting the stage.
I
yeah.
need people to understand when they come in to show, number one, show them I care, right?
Yeah.
I care about what their day was like, how'd they sleep, how'd they eat. So basically just talk to them when they come in. You can read a lot from people, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'd said it to you guys once before on the last one. It's I didn't survive fucking 8 years in prison from not being able to read somebody,
Yeah.
right? You just learn to read people. Mm-hmm. So you can get a lot just from asking how was your day, how people react to you, right? So mill around, talk to them, find out where they're at. What kind of scale, what kind of workout do you need today?
Yep.
Fuck, I had a shitty day at work. My boss jumped my ass or I got fired or whatever. And it's okay, now I know where you're at. So now I know how to style your workout. You're having a bad day. I'm just going to put you in the corner, minimally coach you, make sure you're safe, give you some cues, let you work. You don't need nobody to bother you today. You've been bothered enough.
That's so huge because people respond so differently. Some people are just please get the fuck away from me.
Yep.
I just want to do my shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the other people that beg for
be pushed.
something.
Yeah.
When I first started this, the marketing people put out a survey. They would put out a survey to everyone that signed up on a wait list for hey, Jason's opening a gym. And everyone was like, what? Fuck.
Huh?
Okay. So they got on this wait list, and the survey had questions on it. And one of the questions was, what do you want from your gym? What do you dislike about your gym? What do you want? What's the number one want? The number one want that come across out of majority of those 140, 50 people that answered that survey was, I want to push. I need pushed. Then people need accountability. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, right? They need to be held accountable for what they're doing. And I do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make sure if you want pushed, you're going to get pushed, period. One of the answers on there was, I want the expectation that when my coach gets close, I'm going to go harder because he expects that from me.
Yep.
Okay.
Fuck with that.
So,
Straight up.
right? You want them people. Those people want push. They want it. And I'm going to give that to you. Whether it's writing what I write on the whiteboard or the way I tell you should do the workout or walking by you, just being in your presence makes you want to go harder.
Yeah. It's even cooler, too, when you see, like, the evolution of someone when they start to, like, 3, 6 months, 9 months down the road, and then they start getting hungry, and they're, like, starting to push themselves or doing that extra rep.
So I have that now.
Mm-hmm.
You said Cody's really digging this.
Yeah.
Right?
Jake's
Jake's
business
partner.
He comes over.
So
Oh, sick.
yeah.
from the first time, like I may have messed up with him in the beginning, the first day. I probably almost killed him. Like,
Yeah, he said he couldn't feel his arms for 6 hours.
yeah, so like
I asked him about it the other day.
he actually said he was driving up the road and doubted whether he should be driving. Like he's like, "Fuck, should I even be driving?" Like,
Because basically he had a good poker face, didn't he?
fucking great.
Well, he's a military
like
guy.
I never
Yeah.
thought that he was that bad, right? Like he didn't present himself as that
Yeah.
bad. Put him on the rower, had him do some burpees, and like he died off a little bit, but he still got up and still went back to work. And I'm like, all right, he's all right. He milled around up here with me for about 20 minutes, and I said, "You all right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, yeah," and he just kept telling me, "Yeah," and you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
That's the moment where I tell somebody, like, I can read you to a certain point. When that reading is done, I don't know what's going on inside you. That was that moment.
He said he went home and laid on the couch for like 4 hours, finally could feel his arms again, and then he thought, but this was like his lunchtime workout. He's like, fuck, I can't even work. He's like, I can't time it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out. But to your point, though, he said he's handled it ever since
Yes.
then, and he's been
and
great.
watching that happen, that's one of the people that sticks out in my head, is like watching him then
Yeah.
to watching him now. I don't have to push him. I just have to give him the path, and he pushes himself now.
Yeah.
And I
that's
just
cool.
check with him at the end. Are we still good here? He's like, yeah, I'm good. He goes, gets in the truck, and he drives off.
Yeah.
So, like, being able to see that evolution happen, and it's only been 4 weeks with him.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I didn't just look at him in class and see it happen. I can see him go, oh, yeah, he's pushing himself.
His son worked out with Dustin's son the other day, and he came in wearing his CrossFit Uprising shirt, and you could tell he was excited to talk about it and
That's
that he's
sick.
making some progress. So
Yes.
that's really cool.
So, yeah. And it is great. Like, and I've had everybody. Like, I've had to deal with, like, people that haven't done anything for years. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't worked out at all. People that used to work out somewhere, and then whatever happened, they went home and quit working out. They're ready to come back. I've had people that were at other gyms that talk about how my programming is more aggressive and it is better, and we do weight lift here, to have to deal with those people.
Talk about that percentage. I think Daniel liked that too.
Yeah, and then you get the person that has been working out. So you have to deal with all of those, right, as they come in the door and know where they're at.
And that's why it's so important to talk to them.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, right? Like, I've had, people that you have to eliminate parts of the movement to be able to get them to move right, correctly, and then slowly add pieces of it in.
For sure.
So, and what Corey was just referring to is like the system I use for programming and tracking has what it's called insights. So if I label every movement through the week, what they are, it'll label it a weightlifting, monostructural, or gymnastics for me. And so as I program, I go in and program, and then I go back and I look at the insights. What's the percentage of what we do for the week? So I went back. Somebody had said something in here the other day. They were talking about the barbell. Like, fuck, we're doing more barbell. And they were happy. Like, they were super happy. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, no one should ever walk out of here and feel like they don't weightlift enough.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do you mean? On that system, you go in and look, and you click that insights. It tells you the percentage of movement you do that week. It'll
cool.
tell you 50% weightlifting, 25 monostructural, 25 gymnastics. Since I've opened, that's what it's been. It's been a minimum of 50% weightlifting, 25% monostructural, 25%.
Lift fucking weights.
Just keeps you between the rails, right?
It makes it helps me to really put in perspective, making sure that things are broad, right? That's what I need.
And
like,
balanced, yeah.
I need to balance things out for everybody.
Sure.
Like, and to me, 33s across the board don't get it. You should be weightlifting. It's more beneficial in the end for everybody to be stronger. For older women with osteo, they start to have bone loss. weightlift. You're young, you should be strong. You're older, an older gentleman that falls down, you need to be able to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
All the answers come back to lifting weights. I've been saying this shit forever. Lift fucking weights.
Lift
be
weights.
way more cool.
And then
Stay jacked. Stay jacked.
Stay jacked, my friends.
Yeah.
and then add in, I need to elevate your heart rate daily,
Yeah.
right, to stay healthy. Like, you should have your heart rate elevated daily.
And just taking up the whole hour. That's a big part. A lot of gyms kind of cut it short. The WOD was
I'm gonna
12
tell you-
minutes. Let me get the fuck out of
I'm
here.
going to tell you
like-
right now, you'll never, ever fucking worry about that here. Normally, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
Like, we have a 15-minute buffer, right? And that 15-minute buffer wasn't to run over. The 15-minute buffer between class in the afternoon had to do with the community.
Yeah.
I created a culture and a rule that would allow the community at the door to happen.
Yeah.
People were done. People were coming in.
Yeah.
I don't have to rush a group out to rush a group in.
Yeah. They can chop
I
it
can
up.
allow that to happen. The people leaving can talk about, man, that fucking WOD sucked. That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, get ready.
You should probably just leave now.
yeah.
Like, you have 15 minutes to run.
Yeah,
Like, so
that's
like,
hilarious.
you know what I mean?
Jason
So
sucks.
Yeah.
right? Like, don't go in there. So like, allowing that to happen.
Yeah, fuck with that.
So
That's a good strategy. That's just chess, bro. To me, that's like chess, not checkers. Talk about a couple things, because a lot of people, I mean, we're talking about a bunch of great stuff,
are.
right? But let's talk about, all right, I own my own business now. This kind of caught me by surprise, or this fucking punched me in the face, or this was surprising. You know, because look, it's a glass half full type of thing.
Yes.
Because you're positive about what you got going on. You came a long ways. The Phoenix is fucking rising. But then you're like, all right, I still got to deal with this, and this, because everyone does. So what's a couple things that caught you off guard, maybe? Or maybe you
look,
just
I own
ran
my own gym, right?
Yeah.
I should be able to work out anytime I want.
Ah, yeah. I know this one.
Right? So you run into time,
Yeah.
right? You sink, and time gets away from you at times. You're working on programming, or you want to spend time with your family, or
course.
coaching, or, oh, fuck, there's another bug in the system. I got to go in and talk to them people and get that
Yeah, run your
fixed.
business.
Right?
Yeah.
So training goes to the wayside, because that's really not the most important thing.
Not right this
Business
second.
is, not right now,
Yeah.
until things get lined out. We opened at a point in time where one of the coaches was working night shift, so he wasn't available during the day. So I had to cover more. You know what I mean? Until now he's back, and now things are starting to get even back out.
Was that weird for you? The training not being the majority?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
because
tough.
for 3 years I worked on me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why I end up working out at 4 in the morning.
I worked on me and being fucking 36th and 40th in the world in my age group. Like, I worked on that, and to coming into doing this and being like, fuck, am I gonna be able to do anything today? Are you gonna be able to work out? Are you gonna be able to train? Fuck, I got this to do, and I got to go run and do this, and I got to talk to this guy, and I got to call them, and I got
Yeah.
it just happens until I find that new norm
Yeah.
and how to do that. So
So that was one of the big
that
ones.
was one of the biggest ones. Like, it went from my training to
What about, just like you said it earlier, about it all rests on me? Like, not, obviously you have support.
I
You
do.
have us. You got the wifey. You got plenty of support. But still, at the end of the day, and it's the same thing I talk when we talk about the max effort business. Like, these guys is all ride or dies. But then when I have to make the decision, or I'm always transparent about what's going on. But it's like, still, when you're the ultimate decision maker, it still rides on you, right?
does.
So what's that? You've obviously embraced it, but is it weird? Does it feel comfortable? Like, what's the?
it's getting better.
Okay, good
like,
answer.
it's getting better. So, like, in the beginning, it was weird. Like, I've never had that. Never had that.
Yeah.
Never had where fuck. So, in the beginning, honestly, I just leaned on my wife a lot. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? And it's like, look, we've had arguments over it.
Sure.
Everything. Like, we've gone, toe to toe about things. And in the end, she's like, in the end, it's your decision. You know what I mean? In the end, it's yours. And like, she's been there through everything. So, like, in the end, it is mine. And I'm starting to, all right, you know what? I just got to make that decision.
Yeah.
So, like, it's getting better
That's
about
cool.
that feeling, So, like, my next decisions are what to do with certain classes, right? And it's like, when I needed to make a decision, for example, is like the 9 o'clock class becomes a class that we're a lot of teachers. So, and the other people that aren't teachers that come to 9, they can come to noon.
Got it.
So, like, my decision needs to be for the winter time and through the school year, do away with the 9 and then have the noon, or keep the 9 and it doesn't, it attracts 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Where I could make more better business decisions. And in the beginning, it was like, what do I do? Like, should I ask everybody? Should I survey? Should I talk to people? And now it's like, I'm going to make this decision.
Yep.
So, like, I made a decision to eliminate the 2 open gyms that were at night because I feel that people get enough with my programming.
Yeah. They don't need that
That
extra
they
time.
don't need that time at night. So I took them away and made 5:15, which is in between 2 classes, an open gym class time hybrid. So people want to stay after 1 or come in early for 1.
Once again, creating culture and environment.
Exactly. So, like, I had to make that decision, and it was like, I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Because that's, if you see the narrative really in your head, this is how I want shit to operate. That's what I always try to do. Like, it's stuff I would see, even like the facility that we're in now. Like, I saw all that in my head first. I didn't know where it was going to be, or, you know, how big it would, or how it would be all the way set up. But I saw that concept. And so when things are rolling, I'm like, I really want it to be like this. You know what I mean? And you know, like, this doesn't make sense.
Yep.
It needs to work like this. And you might as well make these changes early, because then you can always, and that's the other thing, is you can always change it back.
Yeah. and those are the things I have to, like, embrace.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, you know what, it's not like it's an ultimate decision.
Oh.
You know what I mean? If 47 people come to me tomorrow and be like, hey, don't do away with the 9, we'll all come. Well,
Yeah.
then I'm going to expect you all to come, and I'll open it back up.
Sure. Easy. Yeah.
Right? It's not like I'm taking away the 9 and it's gone forever.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, it's been part of me is, like, scared to make those decisions because I've never had to do it.
Yeah, that's honest.
And the other part of me is like, fuck, it's mine. You got to make a decision sometime.
Yeah.
Might as well go ahead and do it.
But those are what happens in everybody's brains. And then you just start to go, I'm just going to listen to that guy.
Yeah.
Not this other guy.
And I'm trying to embrace what you just said, is like, if I make that decision,
Yeah.
can I reverse it?
Yeah, most of the time you can.
Yeah. So.
Wow. What a long ways in 8 or 9 months.
So out in the open,
Making moves.
like on this, out in the open, I'm going to tell you thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. Of
Thank
course.
you very much
Yeah, man.
for all of this,
It was easy.
for believing in me.
Mm-hmm. I've always believed in you. It was just finally time for you to believe
I
all
know.
the way in yourself.
So,
I believe in
know-
everybody I really fuck with.
And
I
I know
mean,
Jake will hear it, so thanks, Jake.
Jake Ensemble.
And Salmo.
Our
like,
squad is fucking
it's
pretty solid.
crazy. Thank you to my wife for, like, fuck.
Shout out.
Yes,
Shout out.
Very much so.
I would say, we always say no free shout outs. I'd guess that shout out is definitely not free.
No.
She been fucking.
Not at all. That one is not free, fellas. So
You've been working for that one.
please believe me when I say that one's not free. She deserves it.
Where can everybody find you, Jason?
I'm
Social.
on Instagram at Tomlinson_3.
And
Facebook.
In the gym.
At CrossFit Uprising.
And then go ahead and shout out the location.
We are at 982 Bryce Street, Newark, Ohio.
There you go.
Come check it out.
Yeah.
September 3rd.
September 3rd.
September 3rd is official grand opening. We're going to have a cookout.
Fuck yeah.
I told Corey, fucking bring all you guys. Come on
Yeah, that
over.
would be fun.
We're trying to get everyone. So we're trying to make it kind of like the day that if you have family members that talk about CrossFit,
Yeah.
and then your family member looks at you like you're dumb. Like, why are you talking about this again? That's the day to take that person and show them what you do.
Yeah, it's cool.
Bring them in, and maybe they'll see the community and talk to other members and talk to me and realize that, wow, what you're talking about is kind of cool. I want to go try it.
Yeah.
Come try it.
We need to clip that so we can use
Yeah.
that on Instagram. All right, I'm your boy Corey G, Small Arms Danny at Trace Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak, Jason Tomlinson.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure, my brother.
For sure.
We are out.